I don't know about you guys, but I, for one, am excited that Zack Snyder's Man of Steel is at the forefront of the conversation for today. What is going on, guys? It's Rob from Heroes Avenue, and I apologize that I've been out of the loop lately. My son has been sick for a week, but I hopped onto Twitter yesterday and saw that hashtag Zack Snyder's The Blueprint was trending, and I had to go digging to see what is going on. And I have to say that I'm excited to see that Chloe Zhao, the director of Eternals, really shined the light on Zack Snyder and her appreciation for his version of the Man of Steel. So we're going to be talking into that and all the controversy surrounding this Eternals movie. But we're also going to be talking about Black Adam, the future of the characters in that movie, as well as Wonder Woman 3, how excited I am about it, and a little rumor about who may be included other than Wonder Woman in that movie. So with that being said, please do like the video and subscribe to the channel. But let's get on with this first topic here. I gotta say off the bat, the Eternals movie is out. I haven't seen it again. My son is still sick, still recovering, so I haven't had a chance to see it. Darren just did a quick reaction to it in the video before this, and he seemed to really enjoy it. So the big conversation is on this Rotten Tomato score, because a lot of people and a lot of people are seeing the similarities between this movie and maybe BVS and Man of Steel and other DC movies, because it is actually rotten. It's probably the first MCU movie that is actually rotten on Rotten Tomatoes, and it shines a big light on the issue of Rotten Tomatoes itself and how much sway it has on audiences. But one of the other topics of conversation came from the fact that Chloe Zhao explained how she was inspired by Zack Snyder's Superman, or his interpretation of Superman. So let's get into that right here. So I am on IGN. It says, Eternals Icarus was inspired by Superman from Zack Snyder's Man of Steel. Director Chloe Zhao confirms it was all about how Snyder approached this myth in an authentic and very real way. So there's a bigger quote to this. Obviously, the interview was done with Film Act 2, it says right here. So here's one of the quotes right here. It says, all the modern interpretations of Superman, Zack Snyder's Man of Steel, inspired me the most because he approached this myth in an authentic and very real way. This film left a strong impression on me, Zhao said. So obviously the character of Icarus was really, Icarus in the Eternals was really inspired by Superman, at least in this movie, and Superman's even name dropped in the movie from what everyone is talking about. Again, I haven't seen it just yet, just because my son has been sick. But so if you look at the current Rotten Tomato scores from Man of Steel and Eternals, Man of Steel is at 75% and Eternals is at 81%. And Man of Steel is my favorite comic book movie of all time. You guys know it. I say it time and time again. My list hasn't moved, though my list is fluid. It changes depending on the time of year. And I gotta say, even though I haven't seen the Eternals just yet, this is making me a lot more excited to see the Eternals. Before the Eternals dropped, a lot of people were saying that the Eternals is MCU's Justice League, or their version of a DC movie, which absolutely it sounds ridiculous when you say it like that. But a lot of people, in the comparisons between Zack Snyder and his vision of the DC universe, I guess, are very apparent when you watch the movie, though it's probably not a comparison that should be made. But again, I'm just excited that Man of Steel is at the forefront of the conversation, because I think looking back on a lot of these movies, especially when rewatching, I was just talking to my cousin, who is a big movie buff and somewhat of a superhero movie fan. He watches all of them, of course. But he said, because I keep posting about Man of Steel a lot of the times, I post a lot of references on my own Instagram and things like that. But he mentioned that, hey, man, I rewatched that movie. He shot me a message. Yeah, like, the movie was a lot better than what I remembered. And I think, with Man of Steel being at the forefront of the conversation, again, with Chloe Zhao referencing Zack Snyder's version and how he approached it, I think it's going to get people to think a little bit different. And I've always said that I think Man of Steel was way ahead of its time in terms of comic book movies. You guys can argue with the wall in the comments down there. If you don't agree with me, I don't care. I defend that movie. I will forever defend that movie. So absolutely love it. Curious to know what you guys think. And again, Zack Snyder is The Blueprint was trending. It's great to see Zack Snyder really get the appreciation, especially for what he's doing now. Obviously, he's in a really good situation at Netflix. And just to see him implementing his vision on the not Planet of the Dead, the Army of the Dead universe. We just saw the prequel, Army of Thieves, which was amazing, and you really get to see Zack shine when he doesn't have restrictions placed upon him, because this universe is just really, the Army of the Dead movie itself was just really layered in terms of universe expansion. You could do a lot with it. You saw that with Army of Thieves, which was a totally different type of movie, not necessarily centered on zombies, but you can make a different movie, totally different movie based on what he created. And Planet of the Dead is also going to be an expansion of that universe. So I'm excited for what Zack can do without the reins put on him by DC. But do I want to see him come back to the DC universe? Of course. It's really cool. Again, when he's kept in the conversation, it always heightens our chances of restoring the Snyderverse on the DC side of things. And again, it's not the biggest chance, but keeping that hope alive right there. I love to see him trend. So let me know what you guys think about this hashtag or Chloe Zhao's comments on Man of Steel. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think. But let's move on to topic number 2. And topic number 2 has to do with Black Adam. Again, I'm super excited about this Black Adam movie. And Collider recently did an interview that teases more spin-offs and long-term plans for the JSA. And I'll let you guys know what I think about this and, why I'm excited, but at the same time, my expectations and excitement is somewhat dulled because, we'll talk about it in just a second, but let's get on to the article here. It says, so I'm on Collider, Black Adam producer teases spin-offs and long-term plans for the JSA, not just a one-off movie. And I think, so they're doing press for Red Notice, which is a movie with Dwayne Johnson, of course, Gal Gadot, and Ryan Reynolds. And while it doesn't look like that movie's going to do too well at the box office, people got to ask about these movies. So he was asked about spin-offs. It says, "We have always had a vision where we saw we wanted this to go," revealed Garcia. "We've never viewed this just as a one-off movie. I'm such a gigantic comic book nerd and fan. I love this universe so much. If you can tell from my excitement about talking about all these things, I've always gotten into this with a vision. This is a story we want to tell. This is where we would love to see this go, and this is where we would see multiple pictures play out, possibly including spin-offs for individual characters. But there's always been a rough, kind of loose outline in our head and an imagery whiteboard of how we'd want to do it. As we're making that, we start to look at a little bit more, but then again, ultimately, we need the movie to be received well, and we want fans to like it. But there's a 100% a vision, and we'd like to be doing in a multiple picture aspect when it comes to Black Adam and the JSA. So that's really exciting. Of course, it's a no-brainer that you create such a huge project with this, that there's got to be a plan going forward. Maybe not, in terms of things like the Star Wars franchise, but you would think that people would think bigger than just this one movie when creating this movie. Obviously, the movie has to be good. So, all right, let's go on to see his last comments, then we'll talk about it. And he says, "I think when it comes to the DC universe, this is a great thing about being at Warner and DC. You have this gigantic conversations with all the tentacles there of being able to generate content and tell these stories. So we have met with everyone from every corner of DC universe about how we can bring certain characters to life, how we can continue to build out the worlds with some of these characters. And it's just about finding a right home for it, but nothing is left off the table when you're dealing with these characters of this nature and scale, and in terms of how we can best deliver more content to the fans. So that continues to go, and you're going to start to hear announcements regarding some of these characters who were going to finally be able to tell a bit more about going forward. So big exciting stuff is that we're going to be hearing more going forward, obviously, as the movie approaches, and we get more reveals of these characters. They've really kept a lot hidden from us with this movie, which is a good thing. I'm excited for that. But in terms of their plans going forward, obviously there's room to expand. You got the JSA, you got the JSA themselves being introduced, and really big names in terms of Pierce Brosnan, not necessarily for Atom Smasher, Hawkman, which would be awesome, and I'm forgetting who else was cast in the movie, but I'm excited because, yeah, of course, this universe can be expanded more, and The Rock has ultimately teased that the hierarchy, he keeps saying it, the hierarchy in the DC universe is about to change. But my question in terms of these comments is is this a separate DC universe? Obviously, it's tied in, but the interconnectivity with this current DC universe is shaky at best. So, is Dwayne Johnson going to keep his universe somewhat separate from what we currently got? Because we all know he wants to fight Superman. He name checked the Flash, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, and the question is whether he's going to even be able to interact with those characters. It doesn't look like at the moment that Henry Cavill is signed on to do more. So is he going to contain his stories to his own somewhat side of the DC universe? That's what I meant. Obviously, it's all in the same DCEU, but is he going to keep his stories relatively contained? And if that's the case, while that maybe gives the director a little bit more freedom in terms of telling his story, maybe he doesn't have to have his story bank on whatever's happening in the Flash movie or whatever, but that dulls my excitement a little bit because, again, fans want to see this interconnectivity. That's what we've been used to, at least with Zack Snyder's set of movies, as well as the MCU, and even Sony's building out their universe. So while I'm excited that they have a plan going forward, my question and my feeling, I guess, is that they're going to keep things somewhat interconnected within their own side of the DC universe. They may not play well. The Rock doesn't even talk about Shazam, for Christ's sake. He doesn't even reference Shazam every time he talks about this movie. He talks about wanting to fight Superman in the future. He doesn't even, I think he's a producer on Shazam too, but he rarely even mentions him, except for going on social media and saying that he would wipe the floor with the Shazam family. He did that for one comment on Twitter, and it was awesome. But I guess that's why my excitement is a little dulled in terms of the expansion of Black Adam. But you never know. You never know. We're always one announcement away from changing this whole conversation, right? So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Let's go on to our last topic, which is Wonder Woman 3. And Grace Randolph, the infamous scooper, has given us a little bit of tea, and I'm going to show you that right here. Boom. It says, here's some more tea for you. There's a good chance Wonder Woman 3 will feature Sasha Calle's Supergirl and maybe some other female DC heroes. I'm hearing Hawkgirl is being considered. Love it. Hopefully it will be kind of a grudge match animated episode. Obviously, if you're a fan of the Justice League animated series, you know what she's talking about. I think Black Canary and Huntress were even involved in that episode. It's been a while since I've watched the animated series, but I absolutely love it. I don't necessarily want all my DC content to be, like the animated series. I've even seen in our comments a lot of people want it to be kind of take that as the blueprint. But anyways, getting off topic here a little bit. Wonder Woman 3 featuring Sasha Calle's Supergirl. If it was to follow Zack's vision, Wonder Woman 3, Diana was supposed to go back to Themyscira. Obviously, I'm not going to hold them for changing. I'm not going to get too incredibly mad for changing that. But I will say this: after seeing Wonder Woman 1984, my excitement for Wonder Woman 3 has dulled a lot. I gotta say, I've lost faith in Patty Jenkins. Wonder Woman Part 1, while it was a good movie, it never was like my favorite movie. It was very well done, very beautifully done, I should say. But again, you could tell where, in between movies, where she was inspired or where she got a little bit more help and direction from Zack Snyder producing. You saw the creative choices she made going to Wonder Woman 1984, taking away her sword, constantly wanting to have her Wonder Woman feel like Superman, and it just kind of rubs a lot of people the wrong way, rubs a lot of the fans the wrong way, obviously, but she has her own vision, and I think while I support her being able to put her vision out, I don't necessarily want her on the movie. If it was up to me, I would love to see someone else take on the role, but Patty Jenkins is getting it. We're going to see Linda Carter back in the movie, and we're going to possibly see Sasha Calle's Supergirl and Hawkgirl. I would love to see Hawkgirl be introduced in the DC universe. So does this make me more excited for the movie? Yeah, but I got to say, my faith in Patty Jenkins has waned. Again, it could just be one director's bad day at the office, but I got to say, man, in trying to rewatch and trying to like Wonder Woman 84, I really tried to like when it came out. I gave it a good review. I really take it all back. I absolutely will. I cannot watch this movie. It's a movie lost in time, and I think that she's going to have to really prove a lot of fans wrong now because they have lost faith in her. And again, maybe rightfully so, maybe not. Again, that's just my personal opinion, but I'm curious to what you guys think in the comments below. How excited for you guys for Wonder Woman 3, and do you think that adding in connectivity like Sasha Calle's Supergirl and Hawkgirl would be a good idea? I personally think it would be awesome. Give more action in this movie because we sorely missed the action in the last movie. Maybe get some new stunt directors or choreographers as well, because I think there was a big downgrade in terms of quality and action and even in storytelling as well. So that's my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Thanks for rocking with me. Have a great rest of your weekend. I will see you guys next time. Peace.